As we're on this hero's journey toward the Emerald City, as Glenda has described, where we sort of make a better world for each other, we can't overlook the idea that we're on a journey and we're following that proverbial yellow brick road that is described in the movie, in the story that has sort of moved into the propulsion of the movie. And so we have to really take a look at what is it that we're trying to get to, this Emerald City, you know? And the truth is there's nowhere to get, there's nowhere to go. Because as a metaphor for the Emerald City, Jean Houston tells us that once we get there, right, once we arrive there, then it's the celebration, then it's the joy, then it's creating this field of you know, togetherness. But in the meantime, we're on this journey to get there. And that's what we're going to talk about during my part of the talk, because it's this journey that takes us into these unexplored, unexpected, unanticipated places along the way. And when we finally get to the gates of the Emerald City, in Jean Houston's mythological interpretation of this story, we get to this place that represents amazing possibilities. Amazing possibilities. If you think about what Daniel talked about, things happen you never thought could happen. So think in your own life experience. Your Emerald City experience would be, you know, when you've been on this journey and all of a sudden there's sort of this aha moment. These possibilities sort of pop up and are there for you. Unexpected, colorful, celebrating, beautiful, radiant, joyful. But the thing is, they happen moment by moment, over and over and over again. So the Emerald City is not a static experience. The Emerald City is a dynamic dance with the present moment. It is an open field of possibilities. And sometimes when we're in the Emerald City experience of our life, we can celebrate, we can sing, we can dance, we can do all these things. And sometimes we sort of step back and dig in our heels, don't we? We sort of go, I'm not so sure. It's not that, you know, the idea of a fairy tale, once upon a time, and then we all live happily ever after. It isn't that. It's not that at all, because it's a process. It's those gates and those doors of the Emerald City open over and over and over again. And every time they do, we have an invitation to embrace something new. I love what Stephen Levine says, one more thing to embrace. And so her invitation, Jean Houston's invitation, is to get Ozified. Get Ozified. And when she talks about getting Ozified, what she's talking about is cultivating the capacity to live in the energy of the Emerald City no matter where you go or what you're doing. So that as you're moving through your life experience, every time something pops up, every time a new experience shows up for you, no matter what it looks like, that you've got the capacity to see it through that green lens, so to speak. You've got the capacity to see the field of possibilities that whatever that thing is might be presenting to you. Because what I know about this in my own life is it's one gate after the next, one passage after the next, one opening of the green doors after the next. And every time I think I'm there and I'm at the end of the journey and I can breathe a little bit, I can relax, okay, let's have fun. Let's celebrate. This is just something that comes along and we get to do it all over again. Have you noticed how that works in your life? We get this glimmer and then we get to remember that, oh yeah, not, you know, I always say, it's spiritual practice, not spiritual I'm all done. We get to continually embrace the possibilities of the moment as they are. And so really this Emerald City idea represents the budding promise within every breath, within every now moment, within every experience, within everything that's going on for us. And it is an invitation to do exactly what Glenda said, to greet it with a sense of joy, to live in this field of joy. I love Jean Houston's words. She says, let the compass of joy take me through my journey of life. so that when I'm experiencing whatever it is, I remember the truth of my divinity and have the capacity to go, oh, there is a possibility for joy and celebration and dancing and singing and growth and healing in this experience right here. But so often when we're on this journey, even before we get to the gate of the Emerald City, we hear that voice. You talked about the voice in the head. The voice that says, I'd turn back if I were you. I'd turn back if I were you. Don't go there. It's too late for you. Too late for you. Oh, don't try that. See, we get stuck on the journey before we ever get to the Emerald City, before we ever get the doors open, because we're not immersing ourselves in this field of possibility. And usually it's because we're coming from a place of fear, anger, resentment, blame, shame, guilt, whatever, those qualities that are holding us back, that are keeping us from living this joy-filled life. And so this willingness to not listen to that voice, but to say yes to whatever the experience is in the moment, is what actually opens the doors of the Emerald City, so that we can then begin to experience this joy, this beautiful dance. I like what she says. She says we get newer every time we're willing to embrace a new possibility. We get newer. Think about that. We don't grow older. We get newer. We get newer every single time we embrace something in the present moment and see the open possibilities within that. Because you know what? When we're in this journey, it's the journey itself that shapes our life. Once we have the aha moment and see the possibility, that's the grace. The journey that gets us there is as important as that aha moment. Oh, I see the possibility here. I see. Okay, now I have a sense of well-being. Okay, now I'm feeling, this positive energy, these blessings. Now I see the blessings. That's for sure. That's for sure. So what I like about what Glenda said is, and this is absolutely true, because I think we talked about this last week, when we're willing to reach out in collaboration and in co-creation with each other, in community. See, when Dorothy and her friends, she doesn't go by herself, right? She goes on the journey with others. And they all take their qualities with them. And so when they get there, they've sort of formed, I like Jean Houston's terminology. She says, we get to form extended, chosen families as we are in this journey of life, as we're approaching these gates and making ourselves open to the possibilities of the Emerald City. We get to choose who we associate with. We get to choose a community that shares our understanding, that shares our purpose in life, that shares the possibilities that we understand about this human walk in the world. We get to extend that beyond ourselves, and this Emerald City is the field of that, like Glenda said. This idea, this community, this container, this Emerald City where we get to explore these possibilities. So I want to ask you to think about your own journey, and you're finding yourself here. And think about the possibilities that may have opened themselves to you once you stepped inside a safe container, a safe arena to look at life in a new way, to consider something new, something different, or to be validated in what you already knew at a heart level. Oh, I'm home. I get it. There are other people that understand this the way I do. That's what this is about. This safe arena where we get to test out our understanding of life so that we can, through our relationships with each other, explore the possibilities. Someone else may be able to open us to something we've never even thought of before, which is through lyrics, through our conversations with each other, through our relationships, through our community afterwards and before, through the groups that we have. Learning the truth of our being by being in relationships. And it's all about that open field of possibilities. And the truth is, wherever we go, we take ourselves with us, right? So there's really nowhere to go and nothing to do. But it is this awareness of opening up to this incredible field of possibilities that's already there in our experience. So the hero's journey, to reach the Emerald City, we have to go through this stuff. That's why I picked this image. You know, it gets kind of twisted. I know my journey's gotten kind of twisted over time. Been through some rocky spots, climbed over some mountains, been through some dark valleys, even had some cave experiences. How about you? Yeah. We've been through all of it, haven't we? Those mountaintop experiences in the depths of the valley. Yeah, we've all been there. But the thing is, through all of it, we get to realize the possibilities that are inherent in the journey and then celebrate this green, growing, budding promise that is represented by the Emerald City, this field of open possibilities, and discover that we're always in process. We're never going to arrive. I love what Jean Houston says. She says, so often we say to ourselves, I'm not sure I'm living up to my potential. I'm not sure I'm living up to my potential. When am I going to reach my potential? You don't have to raise your hands, but I'll bet you that every single one of us have had that thought in one sort of language or another. Is that the truth? You know, am I living up to my potential? But you know what? I love this idea. Jean Houston says, you can't. You can't live up to your potential. Because you know what potential is? Potential is open possibility. And it's not that you just get to one spot and stop. You're always in process. You will never realize your potential because you're always growing. You're always moving toward this Emerald City of open possibilities. You'll never rest easy. You are an infinite field of possibility and potential. And your job is to stay on the journey. No matter how it looks, there's something more. There's something more in your human. You know, we all want to know that my life makes a difference and that what I am all about counts for something. Isn't that the truth? Well, guess what? No matter what we're doing, no matter what we think we should be doing, as long as we stay open to the possibilities within that experience and keep our eye on the journey, our life does make a difference and it does count for something. Our job is to be open to that truth. To be open to that truth, you see. Follow the compass of joy while we're doing it. Stay in this place of delight, of dance, of celebration, of music. Can't believe I actually sang my family song from this platform. Stay open to that. Be willing to say yes to all the possibilities that, you know what, how many times have you shied away, pulled back, and not been willing to open the gate even a little bit to see the possibility of what that thing offers? Because part of it is we get very rigid, right? We get stuck. We get stuck in a box, and then we're not willing to even look beyond the confines of that. Remember that the journey itself shapes who we are. And our work is to become new every day in that journey. And this becoming new in our journey every day is what this Emerald City metaphor is all about. This field of infinite open possibility where we have the potential to be whatever, because it's never going to be depleted. We never run out of potential. Isn't that good news? I don't care how old you are, how unwell you feel, how whatever, I don't care what that is. Your potential is unlimited and infinite, and that's what this metaphor is here to teach us. Thank you for listening today.